Hi, and welcome to Issaquah Buzz, where we talk about all things business in Issaquah, from new restaurants to retail gossip. My name is Monahan, and I work with the city's communications team. And I'm here with one of my favorite coworkers, Jen Davis-Hayes, who works in economic development, and also one of my favorite people to gossip with. So even though it's February, Happy New Year, Jen. This is our first episode of 2024.
That is true. We have had a busy year, I guess. Welcome to February and almost Lunar New Year.
Yes. So embarrassed to say, sorry that it took us a month or so, but here we are. A lot of good stuff to talk about in businesses here in Issaquah to cover. So before we turn to that gossip, make sure to stay tuned later in our podcast for a spotlight of Experience Tea, which is a downtown business. So speaking of downtown, Jen, there are several new businesses or some moving going on in downtown.
Yes.
What's the latest in Old Town?
Yeah, so some of our viewers may remember we've done some business spotlights on some of these businesses. So Happy Time Studio, we did spotlight on Allie's business. She was in the Gilman Work Lofts, and she's moving into the Bugenhead space. So if you know that on Front Street, there were 3 storefronts. She's moving into one of them. So there, we did a video last month about their holiday market. She's moving into one of those other spaces, but have no fear, Bugenhead is still keeping their offices there, so they'll have the 3rd space there. So we're really excited to see more of that activity and retail and services in downtown and in our creative district. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to kind of walk down there and see people taking lessons or the amazing things that Sew There makes. If you haven't seen it, some of her wares are in other businesses in downtown. They're beautiful.
Oh, so I need to go check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just really creative and amazing. So we're really excited about that. And then just moving a little bit north, or I guess it'll be south, sorry. Big Picture celebrated 25 years in business. So 2 years here in Issaquah, but last week, so almost 2 years in Issaquah. So that's just a testament to those 2 owners, Mark and Katie, who had a vision. And again, he was, I think he was our first business spotlight or our first Issaquah Buzz about thinking about how to think about movies differently and try to make it an experience versus just sitting there with your popcorn. So if you haven't been there, go check out a Big Picture. You don't have to go there for a movie. You can go there and get a drink. You can get food. You can hang out in their amazingly decorated lobby space. But also, if you're a business and want to do a little, team building, you're able to rent that space out or just kind of go there and see a movie together and have a good time.
It's such a wonderful space. So I've gone there too with friends and just had dinner. We didn't even see a movie. And I love talking to Mark about his passion for being here in Issaquah. He just loves this community, and he's just found a great home here and is just feeling so settled. So it's just wonderful that that he chose Issaquah after all those years in Seattle. So
yes,
really happy
we're glad he's here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Lanny Webb reached out to us. I love when businesses reach out to us. So she reached out to us about a month ago. She just opened Alchemy Skin. That's within Salon Couture, which is in the Mercantile Building. So on the northern side of Front Street. So opened in December. She was in Kirkland for a while. Checked out the website. There's really interesting facials and things she does that I think I need to investigate a bit more. There was one that was called a QI facial or QI. It looked like it had a whole bunch of beads that she places on your face that aren't needles or anything else. So there's no entering the skin. I'm not sure. I would need to learn more about it, but really interesting stuff that she's doing there. So I'm excited that she also chose Issaquah to continue her business. So that'll be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It does look amazing on the website. Yeah. So I hope to check it out soon.
Yeah. All right. So transitioning to Gilman Village, this one was really intriguing, and I'm excited. I have a neighbor down the street who has a daughter that's 10, and she just had a birthday party and asked for a record player. So coming full circle.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, of course, you need all the records, mostly Taylor Swift. But yes, I was like, oh, this is a thing now. And so I've seen a lot more records in stores and interest, I think, from a younger generation. So a huge lead up to say that there's a new vinyl record store in Gilman.
It's within, Vetiver Salon at Gilman Village. And so it's called Sundew Plants and Records. And we just heard about this. So I haven't been in to check it out yet. But and this is the really cool thing about how some small businesses can have their wares and part of another business. And so, the vinyl record craze. I know at Christmas time, my son bought a vinyl record for somebody. I'm like, really? Do you mean that? So, but it's really cool because you had that whole experience of seeing the cover art and then the insert. I mean, back in the day, that was what we did. But I can't wait to go check that out at Gilman Village and see what they have and just kind of, I don't know if they have plants too. It sounds like they may have plants. So if any of our listeners go check it out, let us know. And send us a little message and see tell us how it was. One of the other things that, we've mentioned before, and it's still coming, but it's in the works, is Crumble and Flake. So, you may see their sign on the window and peek in. There's, they'll still be here. But I think that's a little bit of when we talk about this Issaquah Buzz, we mention things really early, and sometimes it takes a while to get here. So sorry for the teaser way early, but Crumble and Flake is still coming.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been... I'm admitting that I've been to the Crumble and Flake website and refreshed it often. If there's any updates on their Instagram, I've been looking. So anyway, I hopefully will be one of the first to know, just because I'm quite excited to have another local bakery here in Issaquah, especially close to where I'm at. So okay, so. I had one listener reach out already who said you've been teasing for over a month about Bed Bath & Beyond and that something else is coming. So as you're talking about us having patience where we're announcing things and then waiting, sounds like we need to wait a bit longer.
Yes, I talked to the property manager this morning at the Commons, which is the shopping center there with Safeway and Target, and they should know by the end of next week. So they know obviously who it is, but they haven't signed the lease officially, and so we never want to announce anything, until it's done because things could change. But I think again, I say this every time, and I apologize, but we're going to be excited about this one. But the Commons management is really doing a lot of things to spruce up the businesses there and the look. They're actually going to be going through a new facade improvement for the whole area. So, so we'll see some construction, quote unquote, but it's more in the face of the businesses. So that has an updated look, which is nice to see an investment to making sure that, they understand that it needs to keep up with the times. I mean, it looks great now, but they're thinking ahead. So, so please have patience, and that is coming.
Okay.
I can't wait to say it.
Okay. And then another one that I think we've been teasing for over a year is Egg and Us, right? So I drove by recently. They're working on the roof. Things are happening. So that one, you can visibly see there's some progress happening. Excited to hopefully celebrate their opening in the next few months. Another one that we can announce now, which has had a for sale sign on it for a very long time. I've had a ton of neighbors ask me, what is going in the old GE building? So this is kind of kitty corner to Tibbetts Valley Park. And so it was a large building for GE and their manufacturing. And it's been vacant for some time now. So had a for sale sign on it. And the Summit Classical Christian School purchased it. And they're going to be transitioning it into a K-8 school. So that's exciting to have another school option in town. I'm curious to see what kind of renovations they do to the building or how they transition that from GE into a school. But that'll be exciting to watch that.
It's a great location. So right across from the park and near the transit center and Top Pot Donuts, right?
Yes. yeah. Good call.
I think that they better start baking more donuts right now. So, we talk a lot about the businesses that we see. So, what's going on in the Bed Bath & Beyond, what's going to come into Gilman Village. But there's a lot of businesses we know that are kind of here, and they may not be customer oriented per se, but I saw that Alpenglow Cocktail Company, which is handcrafted cocktail mixers from this area.
Yeah.
They are in the permit review to actually be to move into the Cascade Business Park. So that's right across the street from the GE Healthcare building. So across from the Tibbetts Valley Park as well. And so in that business park, there's so many incredible businesses. Again, you never hear about them, but they're doing some really cool things. And so we hope to see them open soon. And then, Google them and see if you can purchase some of their cocktail mixers. Maybe we can enjoy one of those in our future buzz.
Yeah, that's great. And then, another opening too, that it's definitely worth celebrating. Extremely excited to hear that the Fairfield Inn is open now.
Yay.
Yeah. So that's next to like PCC and, that kind of that
Michael's.
area. Michael's. Thank you. Yes. So they opened up, they have 100 rooms. Looking at some of the details, they have a complimentary breakfast, a fitness center, and then 4,500 square feet of meeting space, which is always needed here in Issaquah.
Yes.
So grateful for another option for recommending to folks if they're staying here in Issaquah. Also just great for those that are traveling for business, whether it's with Costco or others or sporting events where they're here for several days. So that's just great to hear that there's another option.
Yeah, no, that one's been also another long time coming, but it's they did a lot of nice upgrades to it, and so we're excited to have that 5th hotel in Issaquah open.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah,
because we do get a lot of travelers from our, for tourism, but also for business, especially at Costco. And there's some things that were in the news recently, or just kind of, we always like to what's going on at Costco now? So I don't know. My kids are a little upset about that. The churros are no longer at the food court.
Yeah,
they haven't tried the cookies yet, but have you tried them?
No. So members of our communications team did, because they did some social media posts that were pretty funny, but I haven't. I was at Costco last weekend. I saw the cookie, but I just restrained myself. Yeah, I was good, but I saw a lot of people testing out the cookie. It's massive. Looks amazing. I mean, how could it be bad? So yeah. And then I get a lot of Google alerts for the word. Thankfully, Issaquah is such a unique name that is easy to search, whether you're on social media, or I get these Google alerts. So tracking Issaquah news just as part of our comms team. And there was some satire article that came out last week about Costco's now selling, I forget, it was some massive casserole. And for a second I was like, oh, great. I can't wait to try it. Sushi, new cookie, of course, bring on like casserole. Anyway, but it was fake. So anyway, but I'll believe anything that Costco is selling. I'm ready to try it. Right.
And that's that is like, they have such a good following. It's amazing. When I read their Costco magazine, I read some of the, the members from across the country and the things that people do. They get married in Costco. They do all these things. So, or like Costco themed parties.
We just shared a New York Times article this week. So check out the link on our X profile. But it's called this couple did a tour of, I forget how many Costco's, but they went to 13 different countries touring different Costco's, and then wrote this book called The Joy of Costco, A Treasure Hunt from A to Z. So anyway, if you're really into Costco, this is the book for you. I haven't seen it yet, but they have a whole lot of just facts and interesting just points about how Costco also reflects the different areas around the world. And some really interesting, the one fact that the New York Times article shared that really jumped out to me was that Costco is the largest importer of both olive oil and cashews.
I think I might have purchased those.
Definitely. So anyway, I'm sure Costco is selling this book. I'm sure of it. But anyway, check out that New York Times article. It was really cool. So
that's awesome. So okay. So getting married and going and traveling across the world with your sweetheart to Costco's. There you go. That's amazing. And so we should remember to always look in the back and see if it still says Issaquah, Washington, right? On the
yes.
That's, that'd be really cool to be in a different country and pick it up and be like, yay, Issaquah,
right? I know. I told my mom this fact, so again, if you have not seen our previous podcast, if you look on the back of Costco made products, it now says Issaquah as the address on the back. And so anyway, I told my mom this, and to this day, she's still texting me like, oh, the olive oil or, oh, this or that. And so each time now we're having to look and just.
Yeah, because they're transitioning all of them from Seattle to Issaquah. So that's great. Yeah. And it'd be interesting to see how people pronounce it across the world, right?
Yeah. So anyway, our delay was definitely planned for Buzz, right? Because we wanted to time it well with Valentine's Day, or at least that's what we're going to say. Yeah. So Valentine's Day is coming up. Another reminder to shop local if you're shopping for your Valentine. I'm excited. So I have a date to go to Multicino soon for Valentine's Day, and realized I've never been. So as much as I've talked about it with others, I know it's really good food. I know the infamous story, which if you all don't know, there was a woman that was on a date there once who was eating seafood and found a pearl. The pearl was actually, she bit down on it. Have you heard this story?
No, I'm like, no, I'm leaning in a little bit.
She was eating some seafood. She bit down. It was something hard. She pulled it out of her mouth. And for a second, she thought, oh, well, maybe this was like jewelry, from the kitchen or something, had happened that was a mix up. Come to find out, and she didn't tell the restaurant, went home, did her research. Come to find out it was a legit, very rare pearl. Yeah. Yes. So anyway, went back and told the restaurant, and they, of course it was wonderful. They were like, yeah, we aim to please. But yeah, anyway, she came away with this beautiful pearl that she had planned to make into a necklace. And what a story. So anyway, those are my recollections. What?
Is that what you're hoping for?
Yeah. So I'm hoping to collect a pearl as I go. But anyway, I know about Multicino and our community. I know some of the stories. I've talked to a lot of people that have been there, but it's this reminder too that we have a lot of these restaurants or businesses in Issaquah we know about, but may not have always supported or gone to. So I'm excited to try it for a first time, even though I've lived here for a while. So anyway, excited about that. Yeah.
Well, I tried it, I think it was last month, Well and Table for the first time with my teammates. And so we went there, and I had heard, again, wonderful things. People rave about it. It's a farm to table restaurant in Gilman Village. And it lived up to its reputation. And, and there in Gilman, Flatiron's always a great place to go. What about you? I mean, I'm thinking about the Highlands. What kind of restaurants up there that might be a good, either a Galentine's Day date or a Valentine's Day date?
My family just went to Agave up in the Highlands. Mexican food. I had not been there in like over a decade. Delicious. Wow. We had a wonderful meal. And, maybe part of it was that my girls are a little bit older. And so maybe that was more pleasant too. But like the menu had changed from what I remember. They still had the bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers, which are delicious. But anyway, their menu, it seemed to have been overhauled. The food was wonderful. And we were like, why aren't we coming here all the time? So again, just going back to places that maybe you haven't gone to in a long time. So anyway, that was a great experience. And then it's another Italian place in the Highlands. Amarone Restaurante. Yeah, Restaurante.
Sorry, we're butchering
and
it.
Bar. Yeah.
I did go there once. Yes, I went there once. I actually had I had dinner there. It was really nice. It was really good. Nice. Great customer service. And that is a newer restaurant. It's where the SIP restaurant used to be. So yeah. I think people should check that out. But
and then of course, if you're getting chocolates, there's the classics. There's Bohm's or Fortunato, or the local florists in town. I love Countryside Floral. It's one of my favorite. I love to just go in and just like breathe in all those smells.
Yes,
and they're such lovely.
I
know. There's such lovely staff there. They're just always so great. Yeah. And then Cinnamon's Florist is another great one too, off of Gilman. So shop local. One thing that I do every year is we like to buy our girls little Valentine's surprises. And every year I have great intentions. And then I head down to Target and I've missed out. Like all of it is just gone. So here is a tip from a local shopper. One of my favorite places to go to, and please don't all go there before I actually get my shopping done. But the QFC off of Gilman, it has an amazing section of Valentine stuff. So they've got like stuffed animals. They've always got a really good stock of candy. Anyway, I've always gone there and like come away it was great stuff. And they always have it right up to the holiday. So very random. but that's my go-to place for stuff at Valentine's Day.
You know where I'm going to go that we've talked about before? The Squawk Mountain Nursery gift shop there. Because, so if you want to buy a plant that will last a little longer than flowers, that would be a perfect spot. So we're hoping to do a business spotlight soon so everybody can check it out. But go, and I heard that they have hummingbirds in their gift shop right now that have gotten inside and they're flittering around, because why wouldn't you want to be in there? It's probably smells beautiful, has amazing things. So there's just so many. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Think about someplace you haven't been for a really long time, or a new restaurant, new store. But really being Issaquah loyal, as we say, would be great this Valentine and Galentine's Day.
Nice. Yes. Well, happy Valentine's Day to everybody in our community. And now stay tuned for an interview with Roberta Furr with Experience Tea, which it sounds like you just recently went with your team and had a great experience tasting tea.
It was amazing. And she is so knowledgeable about tea. Did you know there's only one tea plant like that in the world, and it creates all these different kind of teas?
No.
Yes. And so if you're intimidated about these things, don't be. She is amazing. And you get to try all these, whatever flavors you want. And it was really cool. It was really cool. So
awesome.
This is Experience Tea. I created it about 12 years ago, and it really was for the purpose of teaching people tea, having them discover the breadth of true teas. When people come in to Experience Tea, right away I ask, can I help them find something? And then I ask, have you been in before? And if they have not, then I point out these are the true teas on this side, and I have herbals over there. A lot of times people will come into places like this and feel very overwhelmed. So the first thing I want to do is help them maybe locate what brought them in to begin with. They might say, well, I have been drinking black tea, or I've been drinking coffee, and I really want to switch to green tea. So we go over to the green teas, and I help them smell through them and see what resonates with them. And it may be nothing, or it might be a flavored green, and that's perfectly fine too. But I work with them very individually. The other thing is I make them aware of my classes. If they're new to tea especially, in my classes we taste through quite a few teas, at least 7 or 8, and people get a feel for what they like, maybe what tastes good to them, what makes them feel good, and they also get an appreciation for what it takes to create tea. It's empowering to learn it, and then to be able to go to the shelves and try new things and not feel like, oh, I'm going to spend this money and I don't know if I like it and I don't know if I should, and it just takes a lot of the insecurity out of it. The city's been super supportive of small business. Definitely we have an advantage having Issaquah Downtown Association, which also supports us and works with the city. All of it goes a long way to helping small businesses. I love to help you find tea. Just come in and explore and see what you find.
And that is a wrap for this edition of Issaquah Buzz. Thanks so much for joining us. Join us next time to hear more about Issaquah business news, including hopefully Bed Bath & Beyond's new tenant. Yes. And let us know if you have a favorite business or hear a rumor that you want us to track down. So contact us at ed@issaquahwa.gov. Thanks for joining us.
Take care.